Okay, in this video we're going to be checking out the Beefcake frame from FlexRC, and I've already done the build here. I just basically stole the parts from the X-Hover B-roll and put a card in the corner of that video if you want to check that out. It says another similar frame to this, but obviously different configuration. This one here, obviously top-mounted battery, got a camera cage in the front. To give you specs on the frame, you got a 3mm bottom plate. It is a unibody design, H-style frame, 140 millimeters motor to motor, 115 millimeters side to side, and 80 millimeters front to back. So yeah, definitely an H-style frame, but it is a unibody, and the carbon is cut, it looks like along the parallel to the arms. It is fairly stiff. There's not a whole lot of flex there for a 3mm arm, so I think it's going to be okay in most crashes. You got some motor protection bumpers here, kind of on the super huge side if you ask me. A little overkill. Probably don't need that much. Could probably save a little bit of weight if you want to cut that down, but the motor should be very well protected here. Pretty much all the parts are the same from the B-roll. I'm using the same 4-in-1 flight controller. The Caddx Turtle camera is the same, and the video transmitter is the same. That's the TX20. I swapped out the motors. I'm using some different motors. I'm using the RCX. These are the 1304 4000 kV motors instead of the Emax 1106 motors. Swapped out the receiver. I'm using the R9 mini receiver, so I'm using the 900 megahertz system from FreeSky instead of the XM Plus I was using before. And I think that's it. Swapped the props out, gem fans, and now instead of the Avans, and I believe that's all the changes I made. Otherwise, pretty similar, same firmware, same PIDs, all that. I just basically just wanted to do a quick build, swap the parts in, and yeah, it worked out pretty well. I do like the fact that the stacks are more separated on this frame versus the B-roll. The B-roll is the stacks were really close together, and it was a very tight build. The components here are a little bit spread out a little bit better, so it's going to be a little bit easier to build. I am still using the standoffs, and it uses M2 standoffs here to separate the bottom and top plates. So it's a 20mm space between the bottom plate and the top plate. And by the way, the top plate is 2mm, the side plates are 2mm as well. You can do a lower top plate if you want, so the top plate notches into the side plates here in the front, 20mm here. I believe that second one here is a 15mm notch between the bottom plate and the top plate. So this standoff here squeezes the side plates together into these notches here and holds the cage together in the front, and then you get obviously the standoffs in the back that hold the top plate to the bottom plate. So that's how the jigsaw puzzle goes together. It's pretty easy. You just have two standoffs in the back and then two in the front here, and then there's one right back here. You can't really see it. That holds the whole cage together. These are all M2 screws and standoffs. I believe the ones that will come with the actual frame are going to be nylon, I believe. These are just some metal ones I had lying around. This is a prototype frame, so it didn't come with any of the hardware. I supplied that myself. So your hardware that comes in your kit might look a little bit different. Now the weight of the frame comes in, as you see here, fully built. It came in at about 120 grams, so it's not super heavy, not super light for a setup like this. And for these 1304 motors, I felt like the power was fine. Obviously, this kind of design of a frame is not really meant for like a lot of acrobatics or racing. It is kind of a freestyle and mostly meant for HD video recording. So it's going to be good for your Caddx Turtle camera or your RunCam Split Mini. And this is kind of the way I kind of flew it around. I envision these kind of frames as either like mid to long range flyers. You want to get some cinematic HD footage, or it's like HD footage of you flying around at a park, for example, which is what I'm doing in the flight demo, something like that. So there's a lot of these frames out now. There's the B-roll, there's the Beefcake, this one here, the El Camino, the IH3, and the Intrepid from Airblade. So I'm going to probably at some point do a roundup video at some point here to talk about how all these frames compare, because there's a lot of similarities but also a lot of differences as well, so I'm sure you guys are kind of curious about that. And okay, so at this point, before I show you the flight demo, if you guys saw the announcement or in the title of the video, the notation of the giveaway, If you guys are here for that, don't leave a comment about the giveaway in this video because I won't be selecting the winner. If you want to participate in a giveaway for this frame, it's just a bare frame by itself. It's going to come from FlexRC. So he's going to be giving away this frame here, just the frame. Go to the link in the description, which is going to be a video on the FlexRC channel. And so you want to be subscribed to his channel and leave a comment on that video to participate in the giveaway for this frame. So that's the basically the rules for the giveaway. The actual rules for the giveaway will be on his channel, on his video, but if you're here for the giveaway, don't leave a comment in my video, leave a comment over on his video and whatever instructions he happens to have in his video. Last thing to note before I show you the flight demo, I was using the same 4S 550 milliamp hour GMB LiPo that I kind of use for a lot of these 3-inch flyers. It's a pretty good setup, a pretty good battery for this setup. You get a pretty good flight time. You get about 5 minutes of flight time. Obviously, you put like a bigger run on here, I should be able to handle like an 850 if you want to get a much longer flight time, but obviously less acrobatic and more like slow sort of cinematic flying. So I think a wide variety of batteries will work with this one, but I'll link those in the description as well if you're interested in the battery they used. And at this point, I'll go ahead and I'll show you some flight demo footage.